I want to leap forward to Succession,
Mhm.
which is a role you came
Of
to
course.
relatively late in your career, and you told Deadline that you believe that Succession is so popular because people love to hate. Um, and I'm wondering if that's particularly resonant now because um, the country's so politically divided, or if you think that that's something that has ever been thus.
Well, I suspect it's ever been thus, but it's particularly amplified at the moment, and we've seen it with, the ex president's family. I don't want to give any more discussion than that, but his family, we've seen it. We've seen it with the Murdochs to a certain extent, and we've seen it with people who are disconnected. I mean, the thing about Logan, he's a self-made man, and therefore all his attention has gone into that, and he's created his world, and he's grown. Maybe he started with quite a quite a social conscience, and he's now eschewed all that, and he's become more right wing, and his beliefs more, and his own. He believes in himself more than anything else, and but his children, of course, are they are the benefit. They are the beneficiaries, but also they are the sufferers of it because they don't know what to do. They don't know how to cope, and they are selfish, avaricious, uh, and it's you can blame him and say it's all his fault, but it's not his fault altogether. It's a system that's at fault, a system that creates this, and it's all to do with money, and how money distances you from people. How, when somebody doesn't have something, it means a lot more to them than people who have something. Some people who have something also are very careful and very considerate about how they do it. But money is it's a tricky thing. It's a bit of it can be a plague. It can be a power for good. Don't get me wrong. It can be an absolute power for good. But at the same time, it can be something which kind of gnaws away at you, kind of eats away at you in one way, and or puts you in a false perspective to reality sometimes. And that's what's so interesting about the show, that the show deals with that and deals with it really in a satirical way, in a really almost like a document, a kind of satire, a satirical document of the times. And that's the strength of the genius that is Jesse Armstrong and his equally genius writers that he works with, who are extraordinary and do incredible work. And we just, we are the machines by which that work comes out. So that's the power of it, and that's what's interesting about the show, and that's what's interesting about the dynamic of, and of course, because Logan, who's actually older than me, and I have lived lives, we do see the human, as you've shown in your little preview on the screen there. We do see the fact that human beings are disappointing. And yet they're not disappointing when they're audiences, which is ironic. They're just
So
right with their audiences.